What's on the playlist, baby? What's on the playlist, baby? What's on the playlist, baby? What's on the playlist?
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to the pod, episode number 79. And we are going to officially call this the Christmas edition. My name is Chris Romero.
What's up, everyone? It's Victoria.
Today, you just get myself and Victoria. Unfortunately, Tony couldn't join us today.
Double trouble today.
That's right. So you're getting the dynamic duo today. We are right in the middle of holiday season. Have you gotten all your shopping done?
So I got lucky this year because we're going on a trip for Christmas. My family was so nice. They were like, "You guys save your money." They didn't expect lots of gifts from us, so we just got our nieces and our little cousins, and that's it. So it was very easy this time around.
Nice and
What
easy.
about you?
Me, in typical fashion, I don't think I am probably done yet. I don't know. This leading up to the day of, I usually think of something or like, oh, I need to get this or that. And yeah, here I go spending way more extra money on priority shipping and stuff like that, right?
Overnighting stuff.
Overnighting, yeah, totally. So I feel like I'm done-ish, but probably not.
Yeah, and it's never over, really. You think you're done, and it just keeps going.
Right. So, no, but so we're in the middle of holiday season here. We're coming off this like amazing run for Cutmaster Music of a combination of weddings and holiday events and parties and things like that. So it got us thinking the Christmas naughty and nice list.
Yep.
All right. So today, this is the naughty and nice list wedding edition, and we're going to break that down for you a little bit later. And basically, to look at things that make a wedding run smooth, stress-free, make them unforgettable. We want to know what are those things that do that. And then on the flip side, what are the things that can turn an amazing day into pretty much unnecessary chaos?
Yep.
So we're going to give you our personal naughty and nice list for weddings. And before anybody gets nervous out there that listens to this, we're not calling out any names.
Yeah.
We're not doing
names.
nothing like that. This is more like situational and things like that. But these are going to be patterns, trends, things that we see from weekend to weekend from the DJ booth. On the naughty and nice list. So we will get to that a little bit later, but first we want to recap our recent events.
Yeah.
We've been rolling going into the the end of the year.
Very busy. Yeah. I'll start this off for us. So this past weekend, I just did 2 private events down south. Both were for a college graduates. So both. So that was, fun. But again, we are starting to just see this shift in, people more enjoying the music than dancing to the music.
Right.
So one of my parties on one night was totally like, they were having so much fun, and granted too, we were in a really tight space. So there was only about 15 to 20 of us in there, but it felt tight, right? Like they were all by the DJ
That must have
booth.
been pretty small for it.
It was very, very small. So there's like a venue. It used to be a very, very popular restaurant back in Silver City, and now they're renting it out for private events, and they'll do the catering and all that. But there's like long rooms, but they're separated.
Okay.
So they had dinner in one of the rooms, and then I was set up in the other room. But everything is really, really tight. Like the walls might be, a little bit longer than, what we're in right now. So not a ton of space, if you guys know from watching us on the video, the kind of the dimensions of the room we're in. But like, it was just really, really cool. And their energy was great from the jump. You could tell that they wanted to have that party. And I appreciate the mom and the dad for bringing that energy. So anytime somebody would come in, they were like clapping and cheering and getting everyone on the dance floor. So it was definitely they created that vibe. And once they did, by the first 15 minutes, I could tell how this night was already going to go. It was so upbeat, so lively, and it was really, really cool. And then the next day, it was the complete opposite. my first 15 minutes into that, I was like, oh, it's going to be one of those nights where I'm just like background basically.
Yeah, radio
Um,
DJ. That's what I call it. You're just
exactly.
providing the vibe and the
Yeah,
tunes,
and
but
the space was like the complete opposite. We're in a massive room, and there was a lot of people in there, but everyone's sitting down, they're mingling. They brought in a local brewery to provide the alcohol for the night, so people were at the bar, and it just it just a lot of different factors go into different things, right?
right.
So on Friday, we were in a tighter space, which made it feel more full, even though there wasn't a ton of people in there. And then on Saturday, we were in this massive space and there's more people, but it feels more empty.
Yeah,
So,
those are some
yeah,
things and some factors you're talking about, variables, right? That
exactly.
contribute to a dance floor that I think a lot of people, whether it's, right now we're kind of in holiday party season, whether it's a corporate
Yeah.
event that takes into consideration or even a wedding, sometimes people in their mind think smaller. They associate that with not as good, right? I don't want a small dance floor. I want a big dance floor. When in reality, they're thinking of a big party, right? Like they're thinking
Yeah.
of a lot of people. Well, a smaller dance floor actually contributes to that. It brings people in closer, and the closer people get to each other, guess what happens to the energy? It goes up.
Yep.
And so we actually as DJs like smaller dance floors for that reason, And so those are just
Exactly.
things that sometimes experience what you're envisioning to actually make that turn into a reality is,
Yeah.
sometimes it's counterintuitive to what you're really
And there's
thinking.
just something so special about like smaller venues where you are literally seeing every reaction in real time. You start doing transitions, you start doing these things, and you're kind of scanning, but you could see everyone's
Right.
reactions or like, what? So that's something too, that I really enjoyed about that smaller venue was, like you're saying, I felt close to them, and I know they felt that same way. They felt close to me.
That's the way I feel even at live events. I would rather
Yeah.
see a concert if I could, like if I had my favorite band, I would much rather see them at the launch pad than at Isleta Amphitheater, right?
Yeah.
And it's because I have a more intimate experience like with them. Like I feel like I'm closer. I'm right there. I can feel the music better. I feel like when they look at the crowd, they're looking at you and they're a little bit more
Yeah.
personal with you, like in a smaller venue than like a big large one, right? Where they forget we're Albuquerque and call us Phoenix or something by accident.
Exactly. Yeah, no, I completely agree with that. Every show that I've been to that was like really like mind blowing or like I just really enjoyed was at a smaller venue.
Yep.
Like and it's the same thing with us, right? It just the feeling is so different. But yeah, what did you have going on this past weekend?
Yeah, so this past weekend, actually the past week was good. We did an event on Wednesday with Advocacy Partners LLC. And so,
Cool.
self-admittedly, I did not really know what I was going into with this event. This is an event I was working with the planner, Camila Dominguez, who is with Corazon Events. I've been working with
Cool.
Camila for years. And so this is one of those ones where she called me up and said, "Hey, Chris, you guys available on this date?" And I was like, "Yep, I'm available. I'm good. Awesome." And then that was kind of like it. This is one of those planners, like we're so familiar with each other that I just don't worry about anything. I don't even need the
Exactly.
details. I knew it was a holiday party, but I really didn't know what the event was until I got there. And basically, long story short, this company works with, I believe she said it's like adults that have special needs.
Oh, awesome.
And so there were a lot of people there, and I felt like there was like maybe younger adults as well. I don't feel it wasn't children,
Yeah.
but that have special needs. They've got different disabilities, disorders, whatever, right? And so, and there was it was took up ballrooms A, B, and C at Sandia Resort, and it was just such a great feel good event. They had Santa come on in, and they were
Awesome.
out there on the dance floor having a good time. It was during the day from like 1 to 5 o'clock. I don't even think it went the entire time.
Yeah.
But they it was just it was one that once I got there and I realized like what I was a part of. Like I said, it was a feel good event. Like it felt like
That's
I was just
awesome.
glad to be a part of that. They were super appreciative after, like, because I don't know if they had ever had a DJ before and weren't sure how it was going to go either. But It was great. It was just, they were,
Yeah.
a lot of them were there with like either siblings or parents or things like that, right? So I think the room, there must have been about 200 people or so in there.
Oh, awesome.
But and how you were saying, just two different events from day to day can feel completely different. And I was actually in the same ballroom, so there's that event. And then on Saturday, we did the Nusenda holiday party, which I have been doing for probably a decade, if not longer than that now at this
Yeah.
point. And every year that party grows and gets bigger and bigger. I've literally seen this company go from a few hundred people at their holiday party to now I believe they're expecting over 900 people this year. They rented the entire ballroom space, all the ballrooms at Sandia. So the big gigantic ballroom, which I was in the main room, and then they had the three side ballrooms as well. And it was really cool because they had me on the stage. They themed it out. It had a Las Vegas theme this year. And then in the other three ballrooms, they had a magician, I believe, uh, 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 a piano lounge, and then we also did silent disco. So we had
Yeah.
we had four of our DJs on rotation that night, and we did a couple of photo
Insane.
booths for them. It's so cool. Like it's the most
Yeah.
fun event. I did visuals on stage. They had a couple of massive screens, and I brought in some more lighting. They had like a 4-foot mirror ball over the dance floor. It was
It
gigantic.
looked awesome.
It
Yeah.
was so cool. But same space from Wednesday, and two completely just different
Yeah.
crowds and vibes and moods. And it was cool. So I was more like Las Vegas nightclub on Saturday, and Wednesday was more like way more like I was playing Christmas jams and mixed
Yeah.
in with like just feel good party vibes. JT can't stop the feeling. Pharrell
Yeah.
happy, like a lot of that stuff, right? For this specific group.
Yeah.
So both amazing, successful events. And I don't know, it just I had to stop and just really think about what we do as a company and the versatility that we have to be in the line of work that we are in as mobile DJs
Definitely.
and event specialists, so to speak, right?
And it's just so
It's just
awesome
cool.
to be able to handle that, right? Like you're saying, we have 4 DJs, we have photo booths out. Like, how awesome is that to be able to provide that service for companies out here in Albuquerque?
Right.
Basically everything they needed, Cutmaster could provide for them, which is awesome.
And one of the reasons that Camilla hired us for that event, which I did know this going into it, was that the lighting that we provide and use, they were very, very concerned about like strobing, and they
Definitely.
have people there that have epileptic disorders.
Yes.
And so I absolutely assured them that we could control the lighting. There was going to be no strobing, no movement with lights.
Yeah.
So it was really cool. When we got to the dancing, the room stayed pretty much normal level of brightness. So we
Yeah.
didn't bring the lights down for that at all. I had uplighting around the room. I just put them on during dancing, a slow scroll so it went smoothly from one color to the next. And then we had our LED pixel tubes, which I just left on a little slight, I guess you could call it like a shimmer, so to speak.
Yeah.
So, but I didn't have them changing colors. It was just like a
It
little
was all,
twinkle, and
yeah.
that was it. And we left it at that. I did some visuals on the screen, so I started the evening off with like the fireplace, on the
Nice.
screen,
Yeah.
and people were coming up to the screen like pretending like they're warming their hands and stuff. So that was
That's
fun.
awesome. That's
Yeah, and then I put some fun like just holiday visuals.
yeah.
It was like spinning gingerbread man and snowman and stuff like
Yeah.
that kind of fit the group in the crowd, right?
That's awesome. And I feel like that's a good event to do like before Christmas. It's just like heartwarming and
Yeah,
like it was
it
just
really was. It was
yeah, it's just like
perfect.
cool just to be able to like do that and again be able to provide specific needs for specific groups. You don't really think about stuff like that. But it really is nice when you can be inclusive, right?
Right.
It's not like, oh, well, our lights just do the same thing and we can't change them or nothing like that. And it's like, no, well, we could provide it to where there's no strobing and this and that. And that's probably an incredible feeling for them as well to feel included in a space with music and dancing where there isn't strobes and they can go listen to music and dance. And
Yeah.
it's kind of a food for your thought a little bit
It
with
was
that.
just, I was thinking, I was like, man, if it's so funny, right? Because I think people think of DJs and so many different types of DJs. I think a lot of people think of wedding DJs as stereotypical cheese balls, and I would never have a wedding DJ at my event,
Event.
whatever that event is,
Yeah.
or in a nightclub. I
Yep.
would never have a wedding DJ in the nightclub,
Yeah.
you know. And I was kind of thinking a little bit about that, like, man, if the people, like a lot of the people that are going to be at Saturday's event saw what I'm doing in this exact same room today, they would probably think of this as just like, this is a corny DJ and dude, and like I
Yeah.
would never use him at my event, not knowing that I'm crushing that event on Saturday as
Yeah.
a quote unquote Las Vegas type DJ, right?
Exactly. Yeah.
And can do it all, like, and not knowing that, no, actually, I started my DJ career in nightlife, like in the
Exactly.
nightclubs,
Yeah.
mixing, DJing, like, doing all of that. So it's just funny how, looking back on the career, so to speak, on the different avenues,
Yeah.
playing music has taken me and where it's taken me and the different types of events that we can just do and handle. It's kind of,
It's
it's
pretty
funny.
insane. Yeah. And being able to be have that versatility is so underrated.
That's what I think makes it tough, like
Yeah.
I feel like nightlife guys, not all of them, but on the whole, they think of like, so that's the cool stuff, right? Like
Yeah.
I play bars, I'm playing big rooms,
Yeah.
I'm playing clubs, and that's what I'm a hip hop DJ or I'm an EDM guy, and I would never do weddings.
Yeah.
Not knowing how much the private event world actually makes and
Yeah.
crushes those numbers, right?
Yep.
Like when it comes to putting dollars in your pocket, kind of,
Yeah.
And then there's the opposite where you have guys that are just wedding DJs and feel like they can't step on over to the other side either. Like they can't do nightlife. And there are guys like that.
Yeah.
They literally will just, I've watched them, I've seen them in the past where they have a laptop and they're sitting in a chair at an event and just pushing play. And I think there's been this complete shift especially over the last 10 years of the blending of nightlife and private event world.
Yeah.
So we're not seeing as much of that, but it is true. There is some truth to that where there
Yeah.
are guys that'll do that. There are guys that are kind of the so-called entertainers. They get out on the dance floor. They're leading conga lines and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
So that's a whole different
Market.
market
Yeah.
and avenue.
Yeah.
So it's weird. It's I just think it's cool how we blend the worlds, so to speak.
Yeah, no, definitely. Yeah,
You
and I
know?
think that's a great thing because even when our couples book with us, or book with me specifically, it's like we want the club atmosphere. We want it to feel like we are at the club. So couples are looking for that. So
They're
club
looking for that, but they also
so
want people to know what's happening. Are you
exactly.
what do they ask you? Are you going to MC?
Always. That
Yeah.
is the number one question I always get when we're in a meetings. So we really want to book you. We just want to make sure you're going to be emceeing the night, right?
We went to an event. We went to a wedding where we didn't know that this was happening or that was happening, and they missed out on this.
Yep,
They missed out on that,
exactly.
right?
Yep.
Are you going to be bringing gear? Like what kind of gear? Like
Yeah.
it's just like most nightlife guys. If they're doing things on the side, which a lot of them do, like house parties and stuff like that, right?
Yeah.
They might have a couple of speakers, maybe
Yes.
some cheeseball DJ lights. That's kind of the thing that those types
Yeah.
tend to typically do,
Yeah.
And I feel like there's this whole sector that we've gotten into of the elevated wedding experience.
Exactly.
They want the nightlife vibe and DJ, but they also want a professional, higher end look and feel and elegance
Exactly.
to their weddings and events too, right?
Yeah, no, definitely. And I feel like everyone on the team, it's just been like a cheat code
Yeah.
because we all bring that, right? We all bring that on a nightclub vibe, but it's just so elevated sometimes that it's like mind blowing to me. I'm like, the stuff that we're doing is so awesome. And I know, like, you know, I'm not even gonna finish that sentence, but it's awesome. It's awesome. I don't want to toot our own horns too much, but it's really, really cool what we're doing over here and what we can provide. What we can provide for a bunch of people, not
Yeah.
just one demographic, one genre, one anything. We can basically go crush any event that gets thrown at us.
For the most part, and and I think we're also we pick and choose the ones that do fit because there are some that just it's we're not a good fit for, right?
Definitely.
And there are people that like the quote unquote cheese cheese ball wedding type of DJ, or like
Absolutely.
the more entertaining types, or more people that are vocal on the mic, and that's fine. I just feel like there's a lot of different verticals in our industry, and we can't fulfill them all, but it is cool that we do have an area that we
Definitely.
seem to fill the need for. So,
Absolutely.
but that's I think is a pretty good segue for us to go into our topic today
Yeah.
of what is it that makes an event run smoothly, or what is it that causes chaos? All
Yeah.
right, so let's bring the naughty and nice list.
Yep.
Should we start with naughty or nice first?
Let's start with naughty. Let's start with the
Oh,
naughty list.
you want to get naughty, huh?
Oh, yeah.
Let's start with the naughty
Man,
list.
Victoria wants to get naughty on us here. All right, I like it. Okay, so the naughty list, these are going to be the things that we say you'd want to avoid. Okay, these are going to be the things that cause chaos, stress, things that are just like going to add to your, they're not going to add to your event experience in a positive way, right?
Yep.
So let's start. I think one of those things, number one, would be like an overpacked schedule. Where you just have so many different things going on. I will admit this happened recently to an event of mine where I think sometimes we get couples that come into our planning meetings and they've got this really big vision, right? And
Yeah.
oh, we want to do this and we want to do that and we're going to do this. And so like an example was they wanted to do all the formalities. We were doing first dance, mother, son, father, daughter. And then she wanted to do a dance with her mom. And then she wanted to do a dance with her brother. And then they wanted dollar dance. And then they wanted La Marcha. And they wanted an anniversary dance. I'm not kidding. All of these are
Yeah.
all the things that she wanted. And so you kind of get this idea of like, we're going to provide all these different experiences, right?
Yeah.
And really not understanding what it feels like from a guest's point of view.
Exactly. And that's exactly what I was going to say. When the schedule is overpacked, you can almost feel that energy shift when it keeps going and going and going and going.
Right. Well, and at the end of the day, I feel like, what do you think most people want when they go to a wedding? What do you think they're hoping to get or experience?
They want to dance and drink.
They want to they want to dance, drink, and we just want to have a great time.
Yeah.
Okay? And so this is what's happening when you do that. Okay, we're doing our first dance. Okay, I think expected. That's
Yeah.
fine.
Yep.
First dance going to take 5 minutes. Okay, father-daughter dance. Expected. Going to take another few minutes. Mother-son dance. Expected. Okay, going to take another few minutes. All right, we're ready to get to dancing.
Yep.
Okay, hold up. Mother-son or mother-daughter dance. Okay, I'm okay. Like, all right.
Cool,
Like,
yeah.
we're doing something a little bit different. Okay, now bride and brother dance. Huh, okay. Like, now we're running into 25 minutes of
Exactly.
time instead of just the 10 or 15 with the expected dances. And then they want to do an anniversary dance. Okay, well, that's going to clear the dance floor and be another 5 minutes. And we
Yep.
kind of need to make a moment of that. La Marcha, oh my gosh, that could go on for forever.
That could go on for an eternity.
Depends on how many people we got there, right?
Yeah.
And then a dollar dance on top of that, that could be another 20 minutes or so. You've literally just packed in an extra hour of
Yep.
not dancing
Yep.
for your group that is ready to go, right?
Yeah.
And so and then the other thing to think about too is the more things you do, every single time you stop, because each of these you have a start and a stop, right?
Yeah.
Every time you stop is an opportunity for people to leave.
Yes.
And all of this is happening after dinner. So what do people tend to typically do? I would say at most events, I think a lot of people think, especially if you're not dancers, oh, we're going to go and, see the ceremony, go hang out for a little bit. We'll eat, maybe dance for a little bit, and then head out.
Head out. Yep.
All right. And so it's just, I think it makes it tough if you have too many things going on, you could in some way sabotage your own day.
Absolutely. I could not agree more. Just, that overload is also overstimulating to people as
Right.
well, right? It's kind of like, yes, there is things that are expected and people already know when they go to a wedding, they're going to see the bride dance with her dad and the groom dance with his mom and them dance together, and that's expected. But when it kind of goes into this like not gray area, but just kind of like untouched kind of area, people are confused almost like, oh, I thought we were going to open up this dance floor or whatever. And it just kind
Well,
of,
I remember at one point, maybe it was during the cake. Oh, the cake. We had the cake cutting in there too. So it was during the cake cutting.
jeez.
So I had somebody come up. Hey, can we play this? And I'm like, oh, the dance floor's not open yet. And they're like, when are we going to do that? Right. And so
Yeah.
people are like ready. And then you can feel it. You can just feel the energy in the room.
Yes.
And so it was like, oh man, like, again, it's kind of self-sabotage in a way.
Absolutely.
All right. So what's next on the naughty list?
We got too many cooks in the kitchen.
Too many people cooking?
Yep.
Oh man.
And we see this all the time, especially with bride and mom and
Mhm.
planner. That seems to be a huge one. With the kind of events that we do, it's, a lot of people, a lot of opinions, and sometimes the dish doesn't get cooked correctly.
You can't have too many ingredients
Yeah.
and coming from, different directions, right?
Yep.
Well, and the reason why is because it causes confusion at some point in time. So, and usually, and we feel it on our end, right? Like it's like it makes it really tough when we've had a final event review and we've talked with, the couple and we've decided, okay, we're going to do this.
Yes.
And then day of, somebody else comes in and says, "Oh, we're doing it like this." And then you might have then now mom comes in and said, "Hey, when are we doing this?" And we haven't even discussed. It's like, "Oh my god."
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah, it causes a lot of confusion. And I feel like you can kind of see that early on from initial meetings. So I'm kind of dealing with a situation like that right now where it's like I'm communicating with a specific person, but I don't understand why because I should be meeting with the couple. And it's kind of like not that it's pointless because I do want to talk to this person, but she's just passing minimal information. Okay, I'll let them know. And it's like, well, why can't I
right.
just speak directly to them?
You know what? It's funny. This is something that has been really nice. That it's a question that we ask early on. Actually, it's one of the first questions in real estate when I'm, bringing people in for this transaction, right?
Yeah.
And it's who are the decision makers
Yeah.
in this transaction.
Absolutely.
And honestly, it's probably something that we need to incorporate more just into our
It-
workflow, right?
yeah.
Who are the decision makers in this wedding?
Exactly.
And they need to be here and involved every step of the way, or at least at minimum our final event review, right?
Exactly. No, absolutely. Yeah, because then again, it causes confusion, which causes the data seem and feel a little tense almost when mom thought it was this way and bride said no, but the planner's saying yes, and it just the goal is to have a stressful day, guys. Point blank period. Like it is just have a non-stressful day and just make sure that communication is clear. Who are the decision makers and who are not, right? So I've also had brides warn me like, hey, whatever my mom says,
Yeah.
no, we're gonna stick to the way we planned in our meetings, and that's that.
That's always tough too, right?
It is.
Because it's like, oh man, like it's coming.
It's coming.
So I've actually dealt with this before, and I will have them if I can, I try to get them to have this conversation with those parents or that aunt or uncle
Yeah.
beforehand because they're going to listen to them. If I have to have that conversation with mom or the aunt or uncle, I just come off as a total,
Yeah.
D-bag, right?
Yep.
And then they hate me. And now and I need everybody on my side.
Exactly.
They're never going to hate you,
Yep.
and if you just prep them ahead of time, do a little bit of prep work, it will
Yeah.
really make the day a
Yeah.
lot easier on everybody, right?
Yeah, no, absolutely.
So, okay, next on the naughty list, I would say, waiting until the last minute. So that kind of goes along the lines with some of the stuff we've been talking about
Yeah.
here. When we find out things, especially day of. I mean, I'm even going to go that far. Last minute could be like, oh, hey, can we do this? I know we talked about this, but let's do this or that. In most cases, it's not a big deal. We're flexible enough and can work around things.
Yeah.
But, that's honestly why we like to have these final event reviews. That's There's a reason it's called final.
Final, yeah.
Hopefully you've had everything thought out and planned. And I like to do my final event reviews the week of. That way, everything should be done and finalized at that point, and I can just
Absolutely.
lock into you for the week. But yeah, waiting until the last minute can cause some stress.
Absolutely. And again, you don't want your day to be stressful. So I think, talking to your vendors, getting at least a weekend to just finalize things and, kind of having trust into, like, getting that planning process correct is underrated. I feel like making sure we're all on the same page. Let's not throw in things last minute so that way the day can run how we planned, right?
Well, what makes it tough for us is a lot of our last minute um issues involve music. And
Yes.
so, believe it or not, people, us DJs don't have every single song known to man at our disposal.
Yes.
That is like a myth that I think people just think, oh, DJs have everything, especially now even with streaming.
And we see it all the
Yeah.
time. We see it all the time. Hey, you know what? We think that this song will work better while we walk down the aisle. And they're walking down the aisle in 30 minutes, 20 minutes, and there's no Wi-Fi out there. And you're trying
Right.
to, connect to your hotspot on your phone. And it just, it can be a little stressful. And I saw this with the wedding that I did a couple months ago where, they just wanted to do things that I loved their ideas, but it was just not the correct timing. Like they were throwing curveballs at me day before, day of. And, I, hit home runs with those curveballs and was able to keep going. But I think them, and this is the next thing on our naughty list, not having a planner also didn't help that for them. So I think them, not having somebody to guide them was also why it was like, oh, I think we should do this. I just thought of this last week or whatever. That guidance is needed.
I think you hit it on the head. That's that the next thing here. Not having a planner is definitely something to. Is that like a double negative? It's something to avoid, right?
Yeah.
Avoid this. Not having a planner sounds weird, but basically, get a planner, people, if you can. If you can fit it in the budget. It's just one of those things. All these things that we're talking about get avoided when you have a professional
Absolutely.
from the start. I'm not saying like day of, like a day of coordinator. That's a planner only for day of. That's completely different. I think if you have somebody with you from the start of the process all the way through, you are going to avoid the pitfalls that many people fall into.
Absolutely. And I think, this might be me just being biased, but I feel like a planner should be a part of the budget. When you start the process, if you can, guys, make the planner pretty high on the priority list because at the end of the day, this is going to help you with that stress. This is going to help you with those maybe hard obstacles that you need to get through. So I would say, if you can, make a planner top of the priority list within the budget.
Okay, we got one more on the naughty list, then we're going to get to our nice list here. But this actually, I added this to the naughty list as you were talking earlier.
Yeah.
Because it made me think of how many times we deal with it, but it's having too big of a dance floor.
Yes.
So I can't stress this enough. For those of you that want a party and we want our guests to have a great time all night long, we want a poppin' dance floor. Think smaller, not larger when it comes to your space. The closer you can bring people into each, towards each other and together. I'll even do this throughout the night if we need to prompt people, especially at the end of the night. I'm trying to get people together with one last fist pumping moment. I have people gather around our couple, bring it in nice and tight and close.
Yep.
And it never fails that once the drop hits on the song, they all just start jumping and fist pumping they're all close together, right?
Yes.
And the energy is just out the roof. That's just a natural thing. That's what happens. It's human nature. The closer we get to people, the higher your energy lifts.
Absolutely. And I just saw this past weekend. We're in a tighter space. It's not this crazy huge thing where they invited 700 people, but it felt like that. It genuinely felt like we were at a huge venue with a ton of people because the energy was so insane because they were so close together.
Yep. Okay, so we went naughty. Let's go ahead and now let's go to our nice list here. These are the things that you want to do. Do these things. That's going to help your event run more smoothly, less chaos, less stress. So,
Yeah.
number one, have a solid timeline. And this could actually, I would say, so people are going to ask me, well, how do we do that, Chris? Like, how do I get a solid timeline? And this is going to go back, I think, again, to having a great planner. I feel like great planners, and there are a few we've had a few on this podcast. You can go
Yeah.
back and, go research, Shelby and Courtney. Meredith is awesome. Okay. And I'm going to shout out Meredith here, a little plug. If you are not following Meredith Keating events,
Mm-hmm.
go follow her. She does this Ask a Planner Monday, where I'm telling you, she's literally giving you guys free planning advice. She
Yeah.
does this every Monday. And I feel like the most recurring theme on her Ask a Planner Mondays is always about timelines.
Yep.
And this is something else that's cool. Okay, if you cannot afford a planner, and a lot of people can't, I understand. Meredith offers these planning sessions where you can give her a call and she will just do timeline only. I
Amazing.
don't know. I don't know what the price is on it, but I guarantee you it's worth it
Yeah.
to just hop on a call with her and she will help you put your timeline together. A solid timeline
Yep.
could be night and day difference of how smoothly your event flows.
Absolutely. And just working an event with Meredith, it is 100% worth it to at least get that timeline meeting with her. At least if if the planner is not in the budget. But yeah, solid timelines is a must. Really keeps everything solid, keeps everything in line the day of, and just helps everyone stay real
Yeah, it
organized.
keeps us organized.
Yep.
Exactly. What do we got at number 2 on the nice list?
Trusting your vendors. Yeah.
Got to have some trust.
And I feel like that trust starts from the first meeting. That trust comes in at that first meeting when we're talking to couples, and they believe in us and we believe in them with their vision, and we help them create their vision. So not only us as DJs, but planners, florists, when you bring people in, you're trusting them. And if you're not feeling that trust, maybe go a different route, because this is something on the nice list that you have to do, is trust your vendors.
Well, one of the things is, I mean, and when we're talking about weddings specifically, this is a day you don't get back. Like, you don't get a do-over. Most of us don't anyway. Sometimes you get a second and a third try. This is funny. This is an ongoing joke that sometimes, we get couples from time to time, and you look at the couple and you're just like, I guess in the back of your head, you're kind of like, oh man, I don't know if this is gonna work out,
Yeah,
right?
you just know.
And then I might just kind of tell my assistant, but that's all right. They'll get it right at their next wedding. Yeah.
And then we'll be DJing that one too.
I know, like, that's all right. They'll get it right at their next wedding, And most of the time it's because they're doing a lot of the things on the naughty list that we're
Yeah.
talking about. Like, I'm
Exactly.
like, it's all right. They'll get it right at their next wedding. But yeah, I think, trusting your vendors, and really what you're doing, you're not trusting, yes, you are trusting us as people, but you're trusting our experience level.
Yes.
You're trusting that we've dealt with situations and we've been in pretty much any situation that at this point, that you could throw at us, right? And if we haven't, we're so confident in our abilities and our skills that we can troubleshoot and figure out a way,
Yeah.
like, quickly.
Either way, the job is going to get done when you trust your vendors.
Right. Next, let's see, on the nice list, clear communication, communicating with your vendors. So I hate stereotyping, especially millennials. I do it all the time. Like, millennials, this and that. But I feel like those are the couples that we're dealing with mostly, right?
Yeah,
Like right now,
absolutely.
millennials, and we're starting to dip into Gen Z.
Yep.
And so I feel like the communication just is not as prompt in many cases as it should be or could be, right?
Yeah.
And so then that just causes some issues sometimes, I think, that could just easily be resolved with a quick text, a quick response, a quick
Absolutely.
email, right? And my guess is it probably goes in the converse direction with vendors as well. Like maybe I feel like if you're trying to communicate with some vendors and they're not getting back to you, how does that make you feel,
Feel
right?
exactly, and it really does give the sense of unreliability.
Yeah.
Genuinely, when you're trying to get answers or you're trying to get something done and you're not hearing from people, it already puts that vibe out. Hey, is this how it's gonna be day of? Or are we gonna say setups at 2 and we haven't heard from them and it's 2:15? Just little things.
Yeah.
So yeah, clear communication, huge one on the nice list.
So communicate with your vendors. Vendors out there, communicate with your couples and
Yep,
your clients.
yep.
And I'm going to go even further, and I'm going to say do it promptly, do it quickly. If a text comes in, and people are going to be like, "Oh, I'm busy doing this and doing that." Like, I don't know. There's no excuse to me. I'm at my kids' basketball games and stuff like that, and I know I get it. There's people out there that are going to be like, "I don't work during these times." You know what? Send a quick text back, because
Yeah.
what happens? You read that text and it goes into the abyss
Yep.
of, and then you forget, and you never,
Yep.
and you don't respond. And that's what just, if had you just really quickly taken that a few seconds to just, even
Exactly.
just to tell them, "Hey, I'm at my kid's game. I'll get back to you
To
in just a couple hours."
absolutely.
You know.
Yep.
What's next on the nice list?
Event prep. So using, any kind of tools your vendors might give you, like for us, for example, the Vibo app. Having that app can really help with that event prep. We were speaking a little bit about it earlier, but couples don't even think of things until it's in front of them. So with the Vibo app, it basically is the timeline for the whole day with music. So, prelude music, ceremony, exit, grand entrance, cocktail hour, dinner, basically the whole entire day. So, using these apps and these tools that, we give as vendors is huge because you need to prep for your event correctly.
So I dealt with this fairly recently, where and this was just kind of fresh on the mind because of that, but it's actually happened a lot. I would say most of our couples, at least, it's got to be well over 80% or so, actually do a
Yeah.
really good job of this, and they use our planning app. But the 20 or so, 15% that don't, um, it makes our final event review a lot longer than it should be.
Yeah.
And I feel like, had they had used and utilized the app, honestly, their stress level would be a lot less as well. They don't
Yes.
understand how much going through that they didn't think of these things. So, and there's a lot of additional questions in there too. So one of the questions that we ask on there is, what years did you, as the bride and groom, or bride and bride, groom and groom, what years did you graduate from high school?
Yep.
That is an important question for us, because that gives me a good idea of the music that you all grew up
Exactly.
with, right?
Exactly. Yeah, there's just a ton of great information within that. And then, like we were saying too, I do this as well. I know you do it. We do that final event prep the week of. So when, excuse me, our couples, we go into this and we're looking at things and there's no first dance in there. There's no mother
That's what it
song.
was. This couple, that
Yeah.
they had nothing filled out. So she literally did not have her the song she wanted to walk down the aisle to.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I'm not picking that out. So we
Exactly.
have to sit there, and
And
then they're thinking about it. I don't know. What do you
yep.
think? What do you think? And so, really, what usually I would say, if somebody has all this filled out and it's well thought out, and they've been thinking about this forever, and they've got it, they're just super prepared. It's maybe about a half hour or so meeting, just to kind of go over everything,
Yep.
make sure we're on the same page. Bam, bam, we're all good.
Yep.
These meetings sometimes go into hours,
Exactly.
because they haven't thought of it. And I want to know, we're finalizing this
And
like
then
today.
too, couples, why would you guys want to have to throw out a song on the spot when you can prep, a
Most of the time you have a
6
year out.
months? Yeah, you got a
Yeah.
year out, Why would you want to excuse me. Why would you want to, have to just pick okay, this song,
You're on the spot.
you're
Nobody
on
thinks
the
clearly
spot,
on the spot,
And then, we're a week out when we're doing our final review. that's crunch time. We should already have these answers, done and ready to go.
Right.
So that way your vendors can start working on their crate for your wedding. Like for us, getting all those songs, making sure we have the cue point set to when you want it to start or finish or this or that. Because that stuff takes a lot of time too.
Yeah. And so I think vendors out there might be thinking, dang, Chris, you guys could really avert this by giving them some reminders along the way. Yeah, that's exactly what
Yeah,
we do
we do.
actually.
Yeah, we do.
I have automated systems in place that give you reminders, usually starting out from a couple of months. Hey, just checking in. We're 2 months, or actually, I think it counts down days. We start at the 100. Hey, happy 100 days to your wedding. 50
Yeah,
days to your wedding, right? And then from a month, you are getting hit weekly
weekly.
about making sure you have your timelines and your things filled out. And it's just amazing to me how some people are just
Yeah.
they just don't do it. And but what is kind of cool, so what's that's the frustrating part, but what's actually really cool is having that final event review. And even if we have to spend 2 or 3 hours there going through it, they feel 100% of the time they feel so much better that we went through all that.
Exactly.
And it's like, dang, had you just taken some time, we could have.
And then, with the kind of tools that we have, like Vibo specifically, it makes it easier, even if we are sitting there for 2 hours, to punch things in
Yeah.
and upload links and kind of have that structure to go one by one for 2 hours or whatever. So, yeah, utilizing your tools that are given to you for your event prep.
Yep, use those people. Use those couples out there. If you're given tools by your planners, your DJs,
Yeah.
use them. It's gonna make the experience. I think honestly, it makes the experience better for you too. I feel like had they had done this would have been a pretty fun experience for them to answer these questions and go through and give it some thought. And really, when it comes to the music, how can that not be fun? I feel like we've got one
Absolutely.
of the most fun parts of the wedding planning process.
Absolutely. And I know that feeling because where I'm from, I never had anyone to show me the correct way to do things. So I would show up day of the wedding and they would just give me a paper with songs that were on there and I would just hope and pray that I had the songs on there.
Right.
That doesn't feel good to a DJ either. Like all this prep work helps us be better for you guys as well,
Totally.
knowing what you like and what we're playing and
When
when
you
we're
give
doing
me the
this.
list of, oh, we love these tracks and we love these genres, and like it's
Yes.
like, okay, because now I can actually go deeper into the thought process of a DJ,
Yes.
and ooh, I've got an awesome remix, or oh my God, they're gonna love this mashup. They love these two songs. I've got a perfect mashup for
Exactly.
this moment. So I don't know. Like I said, I think the overall experience becomes a lot better.
I agree with that.
Okay, next on the nice list.
Next on the nice list is booking vendors that align with your vision and vibe. I could not agree with this more, and this needs to be like a star on the nice list. Like this is a big one, especially for me, because I am a specific DJ, and I know that I'm not the vibe for anybody. So me and Shelby actually just had this conversation at the Christmas party that Taylor put on. Shout out to Verdot and Co.
Shouts to the new Verdot and
Doco,
Co.
yep. Shouts out
Hey.
to them.
Yeah,
Amazing Christmas party. So excited for their new business venture, which
yeah,
would be really cool.
So what's cool, I guess here's a little what would you call it? A teaser.
Teaser.
Christmas teaser.
Yep.
We're actually going to have Taylor on here
Woo.
in the next few weeks. She's going to talk with us about her rebranding and whatnot. So vendors are keep an eye out for that here coming up pretty soon. But I'm super excited to
Amazing
chat with her.
party. It was so cool. Just their branding, the Verdot and Co name is so cool.
Unfortunately, I couldn't go. I got sick that day, and wasn't you and Tony got to hold down the fort for us.
It was so fun.
it was awesome.
And just talking to vendors that we work with and stuff. And me and Shelby were talking about this because I don't know how it came up, but I was saying that I had a couple and we actually met here in the office and they were very, very, very nice. Let me start off by saying that. They were so kind, so sweet. But
Great stories always start off that way. First of
yeah,
all, they
for-
were
yeah,
super nice.
they were super nice.
But
But once we started talking about their vision and what they were wanting, and they were saying, we love this gospel artist and we love gospel music and
Mm.
we are, super big into church, which I love. Like, I have nothing
Yeah,
against
that's fine.
anyone. That's totally fine. We love that. But when I start thinking about me and the kind of DJing that I do and the kind of music I play, once they started speaking about those things, I instantly knew we were not going to be a good match for each other
Yeah.
right off the bat. So what I do to kind of not scare them away. We don't want to scare anyone away, but I let them find out who I am as a DJ on their own. So when I'm talking to certain couples, I'll say, "You know what, guys? I would love for you to go check out my social media, check out my YouTube, and, just see if, my style of DJing is even for you guys." And, if it's not, that's where they find out that information. So with that couple, that's exactly what happened.
And it's hard to do with us, right? It's not like I can sit here and tell you
Yeah,
we have like the vertical of that's it's hard. I don't know what you would call it. I guess a catch 22 or something like that, where really to experience what we do, you have to see it, you have to feel it, you have to
exactly.
you have to experience it.
Yep.
It's like my work. It's not like a photographer that can come through in a picture. You know.
Exactly. Yeah, no, definitely. And even with them, I told them I don't usually play that kind of music, but if you guys decide to book with me, I know to my best abilities that I can perform that for you guys. So yeah, just that alignment with the vision was a little bit different with that one, but then I've had couples where we align perfectly music wise, their vision, what they want to do, what they, and every little detail. So there's always that, but I can say when I have worked with couples that our vision has aligned perfectly, the night is a smash.
Right.
An absolute smash.
So, like, I guess, kind of full disclosure, usually when people come to us and they start asking us for recommendations or referrals about vendors, I always give them at least three or four that we've either worked close with or that are top of mind that pop into my head because I feel like every vendor needs to be like that, right? You
I
need to
agree.
align with them and they're all different. So DJs, we're all different. Even within our company. It's not like, oh, just book a Cutmaster DJ and you get this exact same experience. You're going
Yeah.
to get something completely different from me to Victoria to Joe to Tony, right?
Yeah.
And so I feel it's the same way with photographers, videographers, florists. You need to talk with them, you need to interview them, and you need to interview a few of them to make sure that you're getting the right fit. And that's why I always throw out, it's like usually three or four different ones because I feel like they're all different. You got to
Exactly.
figure out who you vibe with.
Yep, absolutely.
All right. So next on the nice list, let's see. I lost my train of thought here. Here we go. Oh, this is a big one for me. And I feel like this is something that's, I don't know. I was just thinking about as I reflect on the year. What are things that really made my dance floors, my weddings just pop off? And I feel like it comes down to the actual couple.
Yeah.
When the couple is on the dance floor, that seems to be first and foremost everything to a party. Wherever the couple goes, the party goes.
Yep.
And I've just noticed when I have couples that aren't on the dance floor, those parties, I'm not going to say they're not successful by any means. Every single event, these couples come up to us afterward and it was a great night. And I get it. Some couples aren't dancers. And so I think it comes down to what your expectations are as a couple. But if you
Yes.
are a couple that are like, and these are the ones that I love, like that come to us and they're like,
Yeah.
"Oh, we love dancing. We're going to be on the dance floor all night. Our friends are dancers, blah 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 blah." Like those are like
Exactly.
I get stoked for those events.
Yep.
The couples that come to me and are like, "You know what? We're not big dancers." Usually they know though, and they're like, "But it's okay, you know." And actually, one of the questions on our app is like, rate your party
Rate your party.
from a
Yeah.
scale of 1 to 10, right? And if they usually throw like a 6 or a 7 on there, it's like, all right, we're gonna probably be more vibey,
Vibes.
right? Like,
Yep.
okay, I'm gonna just be setting more vibes, and that's at least my expectation of a DJ going in. But if
Yeah.
they put we're an absolute 10, like, oh man, like I'm
You're ready
stoked.
for it.
I'm ready because they're
Yeah.
gonna be out there.
Exactly. No, and that always sets the tone. Always.
Always.
And I tell my couples this when we meet. I'm like, you guys are the center of attention all day long, especially when the dance floor opens. So, even if it's the first couple songs, whatever, be out there first.
Be out there.
Kill it.
I'm going to say go the extra step. Start grabbing people out
Yep.
of their seats as the
Yep.
couple. Start grabbing people. Even recruit if you've got an I do crew, as I like to call it, your wedding
Yeah.
party.
Yeah.
Have them get out there with you. Tell them, prep them ahead of time. Hey guys, when the dance floor opens, I need you out on the dance floor with us, and start grabbing people from the crowd, our friends and family.
Yeah.
And we're going to do it too. If you do that, I guarantee you set the tone. The dance floor is going to pop off, and we're going to have a great, especially intro set.
And it absolutely does. And one of my favorite weddings from this year, one of them, because all of them were just insanely beautiful, great couples. But one of them, the bride was just so fun. Shout out to Jen. We're friends now. We're good friends now. And she, as soon as the lights went down and the party started, she puts on her shades and she's grabbing people. She danced to every single song that I played that night. Every song. If she wanted a drink, someone brought it to her. She was an absolute vibe. That party was unbelievable. It didn't even feel like we were at a wedding, honestly. It was unbelievably fun.
It's like clockwork. I mean,
Yeah.
I put up a post recently on our Instagram that was like, it's something along the lines of, when you're on the dance floor, they're on the dance floor, and just showing my couple like in the center there, they're fist pumping and stuff. You are the party.
Energy.
Yeah.
Energy is such a huge play into things.
I think the DJ is, I feel like it's like a myth that the DJ. Yeah. Okay. So let me rephrase this. Because people be like, oh, your DJ can make or break the party. Yeah, that's true in some respects. But I'll tell you what, it doesn't matter who the DJ is and what song is played. If you, the couple, are
Yep.
out there and just going crazy, the DJ doesn't matter. I hate to say that.
No, and
but
I could not agree with that more. It doesn't, because essentially, the only difference you're gonna get with DJs is ones that can really mix and do different stuff. But essentially, especially at weddings, we're kind of, unless our couple is super niche, we're kind of hearing the same things, and it does rely on you guys to get out there and dance and create
a
that
couple
party.
will create the party. So one of I believe I've talked about it on the pod in the past, where one of my, I guess, just nights it sticks in my brain. This couple spent so much money. It was crazy. It was a Greek wedding, and it was so big that we had two setups. We had one outside. This was at Hotel Albuquerque, and one inside. And they had this beautiful gargantuan, like huge tent. It was clear tent with chandeliers outside for the dinner. And long story short, it was the worst storm I've ever seen come through like a wedding for us. We didn't even get a chance to set up outside. Everything that they had set up out there got blown all over the place. Nothing ever happened outside. And we're talking thousands, tens of thousands of dollars that went pretty much to waste. But they had this indoor, because we were going to go from outside at 10 o'clock to our setup inside. So we
Yeah.
had that done, and they had to makeshift dinner inside behind the soft wall behind us. Luckily they had a ballroom like available, and they just threw up some tables and had people go in and eat with no linens, nothing on it. And honestly, that couple very easily could have been the worst day ever. They were such champs that they
Yep.
were like, we don't care, guys, we're just going to go in, let's eat real quick, we've got food, and then we're just going to party.
Yeah.
And it was because of them and that attitude, and they literally did. That whole entire family, that was one of the greatest parties that I've ever been a part of. And it's just crazy thinking of like what was happening around us, all this
Yeah.
negativity, like that just could have put
Exactly.
the biggest damper on the day. And I guarantee to this day that is a story
Oh,
and a day they
absolutely,
remember.
absolutely. And I had a couple that was the exact same way. The fire alarm goes off during their ceremony, like literally during vows. People are exiting the building, and it's just, a whole thing.
Yeah, chaos, like
Hey,
the worst thing that could
the
happen.
worst thing that could happen. Bride is just laughing. She thinks it's so funny. Like she's like, oh, this would happen, but not in a negative way. And then us too. Weather started getting weird. It just was just a little light sprinkle, and then our last couple minutes just pouring, and it was just there was a lot thrown at them. But once we opened up the dance floor, and she just still had that energy, she was still excited. She just got married, regardless of if dinner was off because the kitchen was flooded. And this is real stuff, this really happened that day. We had to move cocktail hour a whole another hour because the kitchen flooded and they couldn't get the dishes out to us in time.
Oh my gosh.
So it was just, a lot of stuff going on, but that good energy. They were just, you could tell they were just so excited to marry each other and to be with their people that nothing mattered. And of course, first one's on the dance floor. There they go, and,
That's
and just doing it.
I'm telling you, and I we've seen the complete converse of that, where I've had couples more so, I've had brides in particular where they were so concerned about every little thing and that they couldn't enjoy their own wedding day. And that
Yeah.
was a little concerning. I feel kind of bad when, you know, I, I don't know if that's just a part
Ye-
of some people's nature or what,
Yeah.
but it's like, man, if they would just not worry about
Take a moment.
every little thing
Mm-hmm.
and just enjoy the day and just like you said, enjoy your people, enjoy your family and friends.
Yeah.
Or it's like the person that's on the dance floor. It doesn't have to even be the couple that is so concerned, and giving you the sign to like not play this song and that when maybe it was on their must playlist.
Yeah.
Like just enjoy yourself, right?
Yeah.
Like we're all here. Like don't worry about the music. Let me do my thing,
Exactly.
and play like just have fun. We're here for good vibes. Like enjoy the day.
Exactly. Yeah. And I get that too. Sometimes it's not in people's nature, but I think maybe taking a step back and seeing how important these days are maybe can help you, rewire that thought process. Like, oh wow, this might be the most important day of my life. Like we say, this is the Super Bowl, right? This is everyone
You know
dreams of
what?
getting married
For a
and
lot of
having
people that we don't understand, it could be the last time and really the only time this specific group of people get together. I can't
exactly.
tell you how many people get married and that by the time the next thing comes around, grandparents aren't there,
Exactly.
or somebody or this
Absolutely.
things happen, right?
Yep.
And so I think it's just it's tough when I'm on the other side of the table, right? I'm an outsider really looking in, and I'm just like, man, I just really wish that they could just allow themselves to have a good
Yes.
time.
And I think that's in all things. I think we're seeing a huge shift, just with music and dancing and having fun. Like I think we should all just enjoy ourselves. Whether you're at the club, you're at the bar, you're at a wedding, you're anything you do, just let go. You don't got to be so serious just because the DJ's not playing your Spotify playlist from front to back. Just enjoy it. Just
Stop putting your
stop.
phones and your play Bad Bunny stuff and all that in
It,
the DJ's face. Like,
it,
just stop doing it.
exactly. Just enjoy the music, and you know what? If you don't like that DJ, go to the next club.
Go to the next
Go
place.
to the
You don't
next
have to
bar.
stay there.
Or just go home and go put on your Spotify
Right.
playlist. Like,
Or if you're at an event and at a wedding and you're not digging it, like then
just pretend.
yeah, like I mean, we're talking about somebody that you know and care about, and their friends and family. At
Yes.
the end of the day, a couple hired us to set a certain vibe, they might have a certain playlist,
Mm-hmm.
and we're trying to do that. We're trying to play to you all. We're on team bride and groom, groom and groom. We're on team couple. You
Exactly.
know,
And that's another hard thing too when we start working with, couples. Like I had a bunch of them that were super niche in terms of music taste this year, and that was hard too because I seemed like the bad guy, but honestly, my bride and groom were having so much fun.
yeah.
I didn't care if I had to tell people, "Hey, bride and groom gave me specific stuff. Like, I'm sorry, we're not taking requests tonight." I had a couple that was like, no requests from anyone, period. Like, I don't care who it is. I don't care if it's grandma. Like,
Sorry, Granny.
yeah, like we gave you specific stuff and like we really want that. And it's cool, right? Just enjoy it. Just enjoy
Right.
it.
I think that's a good message for us to end on as we go holiday season.
Yes.
For all of us out there, sometimes we got to just take a step back. I don't want to get crazy, but you never know when again, this could be the last time we have this
Absolutely.
group together. I went to my grandmother's funeral this
Yep.
past
That's
week, right?
yeah.
And we didn't know that last year was going to be our last holiday season with her, right? And as
Yeah.
our grandparents, parents, as they get older, you don't ever know. So I think, sometimes we just get so caught up in whatever politics and this and that and what's happening around us, that sometimes it's tough to just be in the moment, right?
Yeah.
And let's
Just
enjoy
be.
what we have.
Yeah.
Let's enjoy what we have right here. So
I love that.
yeah, I think taking that into this season, we hope you all have happy holidays.
Yes.
This is going to be our last pod for 2025.
Yep.
We've got some awesome stuff coming in 2026. This year, we actually really didn't have very many guests on,
No.
but I've already got 2 lined up for 2026,
I love
and
that.
so I'm looking forward to the next year. That'll be season 4 for us on the
Yep. Season
pause.
4.
So looking forward to it. Tony will be back with us next time as well. But we want to wish you all Merry Christmas out there. Happy
Happy
holidays.
holidays, everyone.
And we'll do it again in 2026.
See ya.
What's on the playlist?